Welcome to the Padres Postgame Show on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. We'll take a trip down to the manager's office to hear from Mike Shildt. Plus, we'll bring you scores from around Major League Baseball. The Padres Postgame Show starts now on the Padres Radio Network.
The 2-2. Ozuna hits a slow grounder to third, charged by Solano to second. That's one. Turn from Arise is in time, and a double play to end the game. Pods make it two straight here in Atlanta. A 9-1 win tonight as Yu Darvish wins for the 200th time in his professional career. Between Japan and the major leagues, Darvish 200 victories and a milestone, becoming only the third Japanese-born player to pull that off. Number 107 in the majors for Yu Darvish.
A great Sunday for the San Diego Padres in Atlanta, Georgia, as they beat up on the Braves 9-1 in Game 2 of this four-game series. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios here on the Padres Radio Network. Great to have you with us on this Sunday. Final totals here tonight for the Padres: 9 runs, 14 hits, no errors. For the Braves, 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 error. Padres have won the first 2 games of this series, and now a split doubleheader tomorrow in Atlanta. Padres certainly putting themselves in a good position to potentially win this series tomorrow if they can just split that doubleheader, but we'll get to all that coming up about tomorrow's game. We've got a lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll go back to Atlanta, hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We have all the radio highlights for you and much, much more to come as the Padres win it in Atlanta 9-1. Let's begin with some initial thoughts. This was really, top to bottom, a dominant performance by the Padres, whether you want to start with the offense or you want to start with Yu Darvish. And a big congratulations to Yu Darvish, who picked up his 200th career win between his time in Nippon professional baseball and Major League Baseball. And you knew with the way the Padres offense was going early and with the way Darvish was going early that this might be the night where he picked up that 200th career win. So an absolutely terrific accomplishment for Yu Darvish. He continues to have just a marvelous career, what he's done in Japan, what he's done now in the U.S. So a big congratulations to you. Yu Darvish here tonight was dominant. He was in control from the opening inning. 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 1 walk, struck out 9, 99 pitches, 70 strikes out of the 99 pitches here tonight. And Darvish is just continuing to pretty much do this time in, time out right now. 4 starts since coming off the IL. The combined numbers for Yu Darvish: 24 innings, no runs given up, 10 hits, 24 strikeouts, 3 walks. Simply dominant. I mean, he has been so good since coming off the IL. Again, yet to allow a run. 4 scoreless outings since coming off the IL, and if you go back even a little bit farther than that, now a span of 25 consecutive scoreless innings, a career long for Yu Darvish. There was a great note tonight from the great Sarah Langs tweeting this out. Yu Darvish with 4 straight scoreless starts. Only one other pitcher since 1901 has had 4 straight scoreless outings at age 37 or older. That was Kenny Rogers, who did it at the age of 40 in 2005. And also, how about this? Yu Darvish is the first Padres pitcher with 4 straight scoreless starts of at least 5 innings. That is how rare Yu Darvish, or what he's done, how rare it is. I mean, he has just been totally locked in since coming off the IL. And when you zoom out, you look at this season really as a whole, and especially with Joe Musgrove coming back Tuesday, the fact that Yu Darvish has really got this thing rolling, his season rolling, it's a very big deal for this team. And if Joe Musgrove can come off the IL later this week and do the same, that is a really big deal and a really good thing for the Padres. So I think tonight it starts with Yu Darvish. A big congrats to you. He was outstanding on the road against this Braves lineup, which we know is very, very good. The Braves lineup has not been very good the first two games of this series, but hey, the Padres take advantage, and they've won two to begin this four-game set. Then we move along to another part of the dominance here tonight, and that was the offense. A few notes on the offense just to give you an idea of how good it was tonight. Number one, everybody had a base hit by the fifth inning. Luis Campusano hitting the home run to start the fifth inning. That gave everybody a hit in the starting nine. That was with nobody out in the fifth inning. And at that point, the Padres had already scored 8 runs. First time this season, when you go back to Friday night, that the Padres have put together back-to-back 13-hit games. They had 14 hits, 9 runs total, 3 home runs in this game, 1 by Cronenworth, 1 by Campusano, and 1 by Kim. And the first inning, I thought, really set the tone offensively for this whole game. 2 outs, nobody on. Jurickson Profar, who had another big night, 3 hits for Profar. I'm going to go through the box score here in a second, but 3 hits for Profar. He starts that 2-out rally with a walk. Then Jake Cronenworth, the home run. Padres weren't done. Infield single for Manny Machado. Xander Bogaerts a single. And then Jackson Merrill, RBI single. And just like that, it's 3-0. The Padres made Bryce Elder throw 41 pitches in that opening frame. So they really made him work. And the offense, again, just top to bottom, looking at the box score in this one, was outstanding. Luis Arraez, 2 hits. Fernando Tatis Jr. had a base hit. It was a 2-run double. Big hit in the 4th inning for Fernando. Jurickson Profar, 3 more hits. He's hitting .335 on the year now. He continues to be terrific. Cronenworth, the home run. Manny had a couple of hits. Xander Bogaerts had a base hit. Jackson Merrill, an RBI base hit. Luis Campusano, the home run. And very good to see Ha-Sung Kim with 2 hits and a home run in this game. So really, all the way around, a terrific offensive day for the Padres. And we talked about it before the game. Padres had not had an extra base hit in the 3 games prior before this one. In fact, the home run by Cronenworth in the first inning, believe it or not, was the Padres' first extra base hit since Monday against the Rockies. So they broke out of that slump, that extra base hit slump, in a big way here today with 3 home runs, a double for Tatis. So hopefully any extra base issues go by the wayside. And a couple of other just thoughts on this game and really the start to this series in Atlanta. Number one, why was winning tonight so important? Well, with the doubleheader tomorrow, it's always hard to sweep doubleheaders, and it's always hard to do it on the road and against a really good team in the Atlanta Braves. Now, the Padres have Dylan Cease pitching Game 1 tomorrow. They have Randy Vasquez pitching Game 2. Chris Sale against Vasquez in Game 2 of the doubleheader. We'll get more into the pitching matchups a little bit later in our post-game coverage here. But the bottom line is this. Now a split of the doubleheader tomorrow wins you this series, gives you 3 out of 4. Now the Padres have a lot of work to do. Braves could win 2 tomorrow. But you do feel pretty good entering tomorrow knowing that if you split, you take 3 out of 4 in Atlanta, which you certainly would have taken at the start of this series. So that's a really good piece of news. And I tweeted this out earlier, and it's just worth bringing up. This continues to be just a different team on the road, the San Diego Padres. I mean, I was thinking about it at some point during the game. Is this the same team that got swept by the Rockies earlier this week to start the week? They have just been a very, very different team between the road and at home. I mean, again, the Padres, with the win here today, they improved to a road record of 14-8 on the year. That's top 5 as far as the best record on the road in the major leagues this season. The Padres entered today having scored 5.3 runs per game as the visiting team. That's the second highest run scoring average on the road entering today. Well, they scored 9 on 14 hits here today. So that average only went up. And I told you this before the game, Padres hitters had a major league best 288 batting average and 346 on base percentage on the road entering today. And again, 14 hits, 9 runs, 3 home runs. They have played really, really well and hit really, really well on the road. And that continued here tonight. You hope it continues into the doubleheader tomorrow. And again, the Padres now in a good position where if you can just split the doubleheader tomorrow, which I think you would take, you win this series. So they've got work to do in this series, but you're set up nicely going into tomorrow, not to mention that Darvish gave you 7 scoreless innings. You only had to use Adrian Morejon and Stephen Kolek out of the bullpen. Meanwhile, the Braves had to use 4 relievers because Bryce Elder went just 3+ innings in this game. So the Padres set up well for tomorrow. Really nice win here tonight as they beat the Braves 9-1. When we come back, we'll have all the radio highlights for you. We'll also go back to Atlanta and we'll hear from Mike Shildt, get some post-game reaction, and much, much more to come as the Padres win it tonight in Atlanta. Post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here today, Padres 9 and the Braves 1, as the Padres have won the first 2 games of this 3-game series, should say 4-game series in Atlanta. Doubleheader tomorrow. We got to be up bright and early tomorrow, 8:20 a.m. Pre-game start time tomorrow, so some Padres and pancakes for you on a Monday morning, and then Game 2 starts at 3:20. So just to give you an idea of what tomorrow is going to look like here on the station, 8:20 pregame, so I'll join you after Ben and Woods. They'll be on for 2+ hours. Rumor has it I may join them towards the very end of their 2+ hours, so they'll be with you until 8:20. Then I'll be with you until about 9:10. Then Jesse and Tony will have Game 1 for you. Then I'll have post-game after Game 1. Then we'll have some kind of in-between programming to give me a little rest before 2:20 when I have pregame for Game 1. And then we'll have post-game after Game 2 whenever that's over. So I'm going to be with you pretty much nearly from sunup to sundown tomorrow for Padres baseball. Long day of Padres baseball tomorrow here on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. But I'll tell you what, if tomorrow is full of what the Padres did tonight in Atlanta, you'll certainly take it. Let's go through this game with our game highlights.
What moments had the biggest impact on today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game recap on the Padres Radio Network.
Padres facing right-hander Bryce Elder in the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on, but then the Padres got it going. Jurickson Profar walked. Jake Cronenworth was up next.
Here's the 1-2. That's hit in the air, deep down the right field line. You want an extra base hit? You got it. 2-run, home run, Jake Cronenworth. Padres take a 2-0 lead on Elder and the Braves here in the top of the first inning. And Cronenworth, who had 3 hits.
The rally continued. Manny Machado singled. Xander Bogaerts singled. That brought Jackson Merrill to the plate.
Elder continues to work to Merrill, and a line drive base hit into right field. Manny is rounding third on his way. Acuna's throw comes through, not in time. RBI single Jackson Merrill. A 3-0 Padre lead in the first, and now 4 straight 2-out hits.
The score stayed 3-0 for a while as Darvish began his night with 3 scoreless innings. Padres bats, though, got back to work in the top of the 4th inning against Elder. There were runners on first and second base with nobody out for Fernando.
2-2 to Tatis. Here's the pitch from Elder, and Fernando hits it in the air to right again, deep again. Acuna back to watch. It'll hit off the padded wall, kind of die right in front of the warning track. 1 run has scored. Second run coming, throw to the plate, and in time, Arise is called out. Kim crossed the plate, so the Padres take a 4-0 lead, and we'll see if Mike Shildt wants to challenge whether or not Arise was able to score from first base or not.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is safe. San Diego keep their challenge. And
the nightmare continues here for Bryce Elder in the 4th inning.
It would be a 2-run double for Fernando Tatis Jr., made it a 5-0 Padre lead. Padres weren't done. Jurickson Profar was next.
Elder comes set. Not long for this night. Profar swings, lines it over Olsen. That's a fair ball down the line, going to go into the corner. Tatis will walk home. Profar's at second, thinking 3. Now he'll pull up. An RBI double for Jurickson Profar, and a 6-0 Padre lead in the 4th.
Padres would end up scoring another run later in the inning after an error, then a sac fly from Xander Bogaerts. A 4-run 4th inning. Padres had a 7-0 lead. Bryce Elder never got it out in the 4th inning. Ray Kerr finished up the frame. It was Kerr who took the mound in the top of the 5th inning. Luis Campusano led off.
Here's the 1-1. Campusano hammers it in the air, deep down the left field line. It is hooking and fair. That's a home run. A line shot right inside the pole, and Campusano back home in Georgia. It's his 4th home run of the season. It is an 8-0 game here in the 5th inning.
The offense was one big story for the Padres. The other became Darvish. He was through 6 easy scoreless innings at just 81 pitches. Padres struck again in the 7th. Ray Kerr still on the mound. Ha-Sung Kim at the dish.
Kim launches this one to left field. Kelenic racing straight back. He will twist, he will turn, he will watch, and a home run. Kim dunks that one into the first row, his 2nd hit of the night, his 6th home run of the season, and a solo shot here in the 7th makes the Padre lead 9-0.
A 9-0 Padre lead, 3rd home run of the night for the Friars. Darvish went back to the mound for the 7th inning. He retired the side in order again. Darvish set down 13 in a row to end his outing. Final line for you: 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits. He struck out 9, walked 1 on 99 pitches. 70 of those 99 for strikes. The Padres bullpen came on. Adrian Morejon dealt a 1-2-3 8th inning. Stephen Kolek allowed a run in the 9th inning, but that was no big deal. The Padres put on the finishing touch.
Here's the 2-2. Ozuna hits a slow grounder to third, charged by Solano. To second, that's one. Turn from Arise is in time, and a double play to end the game. Pods make it 2 straight here in Atlanta. A 9-1 win tonight as Darvish wins for the 200th time in his professional career.
Again, a big congratulations to Darvish, his 200th career win between his time in Japan with Nippon Professional Baseball, and it's time now in the major leagues. Big milestone for you and a big night for the Padres all the way around as they beat the Atlanta Braves by a final score of 9-1. Padres with the win, back to 500 at 24-24. Braves dropped to 26-16 on the season. Let's go back to Truist Park in Atlanta. Here's some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Presented by Sinley Food. Spice up your culinary life.
Mike, how nice is it to be able to ride a starter like you here this last month, really?
Oh, it's been fantastic. It starts with the starters. And Hugh's been elite, the last 4 times out. He's been nothing short of magnificent. And we just go ahead and got to congratulate him, right? 200 career wins between Japan and the Major League Baseball. That is a impressive feat that is man, it's hard to even capture sometimes what he's done to be able to do that. You're talking about a dedication for a long time to his craft. Take care of himself. My respect for him is off the charts. I always appreciate longevity statistics like this, and he's got his 200th win today, and it's just to tribute to a career that's still going. And let's stop and celebrate it. But what a magnificent accomplishment for you tonight.
The fact that at this point he's doing some things that he really hasn't even done before. He has a lot of runs since he's been back. What does that say about him? The fact that at 37
It says, that he takes care of himself. He's dedicated to his craft. He has a great game plan. His preparation's fantastic. And then the pitches his fastball again. Where he wanted to throw it, slider, split were good. And then the fourth, he started throwing the slower curveball, and it was just masterful.
One of your points of emphasis has been the repeated good at-bats. That first inning was about as good as it gets all year, wasn't it? What did you think of the game?
I thought it was representative of a lot of the innings we've had, and I thought it was representative of, first inning was fantastic, led right into the second. We couldn't score in the second, and then they just kept coming the rest of the game. Rise continues to be the table setter. I love Toddy's at bat. Even in the bat he flew out, he's moving a runner, and then the next time he drives the ball off the wall to help open the game up. And of course, Pro takes more good at bats, and Campy and Kimmy put some swings, and Bogey took some really good swings. The hard hit baseball to left, the sac fly to left that Kalinick made a nice play on. Then he had a rope to left the last at bat, so he's in a good place as well. And let's appreciate Manny's play early in the game. He dives on Arcia's ball down the line, keeps it from being a double. Next thing you know, he turns a nice double play on Kalinick and gets a clean inning. So just good baseball.
How important is it to get a long start out of your starter with a doubleheader looming the next day?
Yeah, it's very important. It's good for him to grab that 7 and clear, obviously as effective as Lee did, and sets us up for tomorrow with that doubleheader. So it was a big outing for Hugh for his milestone, and a big outing for our team for where we're at right now.
What do you want from you after this milestone?
More. More of the same. We'll go with the repeat sign on that. Just keep going. Keep being you, Darvish. That's the thing that's so nice about having a pillar like you on your club that stabilizes your club, stabilizes your staff, and Wade prepares, Wade goes about it, but he takes the mound, what you're going to get, and it's going to give you a chance to more than compete to help win games, and so just continue to do that.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after tonight's game. Padres win this game 9-1 against the Atlanta Braves, and the Padres again improved to 500 at 24-24. You heard Mike Shildt talked about what he liked from the offense here tonight. There was a lot to like all the way around, really. Whether you want to look at what Yu Darvish did, he was terrific, or what the offense did here tonight, they were terrific as well. So really all around, like we've been saying, a really nice win for the Padres. And as I said in the opening segment, they're set up well for tomorrow in a number of different respects. Number one, you go into tomorrow knowing that with a split, you win the series, which I think you'll take. And you also have a relatively fresh bullpen. Nobody pitched yesterday, just Morahone and Kolek pitched today. And you hope you can take advantage maybe in game one of Dylan Cease starting the game. So the Padres are set up well going into tomorrow. And we'll get to some of your comments, tweets, DMs as we go along here. I do want to pull up a couple of video comments because we'll let you get involved here as we go along on our post-game show. Jeff saying, and Jeff made me laugh with this one, Jeff saying, I think I need to have a mild neck injury, then try online dating again. The Darvish method. He is killing it since coming off the IL. Jeff, that made me laugh. But look, Darvish has been just terrific since coming off the IL. I said the numbers earlier. Since coming off the IL, in 4 starts, Darvish has 24 scoreless innings. 10 hits allowed. He struck out 24 and walked 3. He hasn't just been good since coming off the IL. He has been absolutely dominant. And again, if you go back even a little bit farther, he's got 25 consecutive scoreless innings, a career high. So he has just been terrific. And I think also it's worth noting Darvish has done it against some good teams. I mean, he shut out the Dodgers last weekend at Petco Park, tonight against the Braves, even though the Braves aren't, hitting the ball super well so far in this series, and some of their big guys are not playing very well early this year still. 7 scoreless innings against the Braves. The last one, 7 scoreless innings against the Dodgers. 5 scoreless innings on the road against the Cubs. And that Reds team, they've got some big hitters in there. In that Reds lineup, 5 scoreless innings against them. So it's not like he's beating up on really, really bad teams. I mean, he's done this 4 starts in a row scoreless against some really good teams and some offenses that can really put up some runs. John commenting, it warms my heart to see the Pods hitting again, but if the bats go ice cold tomorrow, they lose twice. Well, John, you hope they don't go ice cold. If they can keep hitting at this kind of rate, 13 hits on Friday, 14 hits here today, I think the Padres probably at least win one of those games tomorrow. You hope the bats don't go cold. We've got Sir Marshall saying Padres are catching the Braves at a great time. The Braves are super beat up right now. Look, Austin Riley, once again, not in the lineup. Some of their starting pitchers injured, and guys like Acuna, some of the other guys in this lineup, Olsen in that category as well. We've been through it. They're not hitting the ball super well right now. A lot of those guys not off to good starts. So it brings us to Eric's comment here. Sometimes it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And look, there is truth to that, right? Yeah, I mean, look, the Padres may be getting the Braves at the right time. I think we can talk about that more tomorrow when the doubleheader in the series is over, but it's a fair point. One more comment here from Jeff before we go to break. Jeff saying, I think you going 7 innings really set them up nicely for at least one win of the doubleheader. That saved our high leverage arms today, which will come into play tomorrow, I'm sure. Jeff, it's a really good point. It's part of the reason I think the Padres are set up well for tomorrow. They only had to use Morahone and Kolek out of the bullpen. They should have everybody available tomorrow, and they're going to need bullpen arms. You hope Dylan Cease gives you a solid outing tomorrow, goes deep in the game. If he can do that, then you're set up really, really well for late in game 1 and especially game 2. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, but so far so good in Atlanta. Padres winning on Friday, and the Padres winning here tonight by a final score of 9-1. When we come back, we'll continue to break down this game. We'll continue to go through some of your comments. You can tweet at me or Instagram DM me at SammyLev, SammyLev. The handle on both those platforms. If you want to squeeze a phone call in, you can. 833-288-0973. The phone number is always, again, 833-288-0973. The phone number to call if you want to get involved. We may have some time to squeeze some phone calls in. We're going to go pretty quick here tonight. Not our typical maybe hour 15, hour 30 minute long post game, because I got to be up early tomorrow. 8:20 a.m. pregame start time tomorrow. So we're going to go pretty quick here, but we'll continue to get you involved. Final score, Padres 9, Braves 1. More postgame after this. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here tonight, Padres 9 and the Braves 1. Padres have won the first 2 games of this 4-game series in Atlanta. Split doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have much more on that coming up in just a little bit. Still a lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard in just a little bit. We'll also cycle through more of your tweets, DMs, phone calls if you want to get involved on Twitter or Instagram. Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. That's where to find me on those platforms. If you want to get involved on the video streams, you can comment there. That's a nice place to get involved as well. Comment, may just get to more of your comments coming up here in a little bit. It's another beautiful day for a ball game, and Military Sunday at that. San Diego County Toyota dealers are proud partners of the Padres and supporters of San Diego's military community. Thank you to all military members for your incredible service. It was a beautiful day here in San Diego. Luckily, after all the rain yesterday in Atlanta, ended up being a nice night in Atlanta. Hopefully the weather is good tomorrow for the doubleheader. And I'll tell you what, even though we had to wait through, what was it, hour and a half, 2-hour rain delay before last night's game got called, they set up the doubleheader on Monday. Tell you what, tonight's game was worth the wait. Really was. The Padres did everything right in this game, whether you want to talk about starting pitching or the offense. But let's talk a little bit more about the starting pitching as we tell you about our player of the game.
Which player had the biggest impact on today's game? Let's find out who is today's player of the game. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Catch every game at Patties and Bites. Plus, enjoy $4 beer every Thursday. Visit valleyviewcasino.com today.
1-0, the pitch. Arcia hits it slowly on the ground to the left side. Kim gets in front of it, sets his feet, throws to first in time, and another 1-2-3 inning for Darvish. 7 more shutout innings. He has retired 13 in a row.
Darvish, absolutely terrific here tonight. 7 scoreless innings, 99 pitches, 70 for strikes. Finished his outing retiring 13 in a row. He was in command from the opening inning. Terrific stuff from Darvish. We've been through the numbers since coming off the IL. 24 consecutive scoreless innings. It's 25 if you go back even a little bit farther than that. A career-long scoreless inning stretch for Darvish. He was great, and he has just been dominant since coming off the IL. So, quite frankly, hope Joe Musgrove comes off the IL on Tuesday in Cincinnati. Hopefully he does whatever Darvish was doing during the stint on the IL, because that is how good has been since his return. And again, tonight was a milestone victory for Darvish. His 200th career win between his time in Major League Baseball and his time in Japan. It's now 107 wins in MLB, 93 wins in Nippon Professional Baseball. But the interesting part about it for Darvish as well, he becomes the first Japanese-born player to reach 200 wins between the 2 leagues, all as a starter. So it really is quite the accomplishment for Darvish. And right now, and I tell you what, Darvish probably is going to pass these 2 pitchers later this season, but only Hiroki Hirota with 203 wins between the 2 leagues and Hideo Nomo with 201 wins between the 2 leagues now have more combined wins for a Japanese-born player. So Darvish, especially if he keeps doing what he's been doing, I think he's probably going to end this season with the most wins between the 2 leagues by any Japanese-born player, and he just continues to be terrific. And the 37-year-old here today, he was dominant against what is, despite some of these guys struggling, a really, really good Braves lineup. And it's just been more of the same. I talked about it earlier. Not just the effectiveness, not just the numbers, the dominance, but who he's been doing it against, quite frankly. I mean, you look at what he did last week against the Dodgers, what he did here today, what he did against the Cubs. I mean, it's some pretty good teams he's going up against, and he is dominating right now. So more good stuff for Darvish. When we come back on our post-game coverage, we'll take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll continue to break down this game and get you involved as we go along here. Read your comments, your tweets, your DMs if you want to get them in at Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. You can do that on the video stream. If you want to squeeze a phone call in, 833-288-0973. Final score, Padres 9, Braves 1. More post-game after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here tonight, Padres 9 and the Braves 1. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we wrap this one up. We've got an early start time tomorrow, 8:20 a.m. with the pregame coverage. Game 1 of tomorrow's doubleheader, first pitch at 9:20. Then we've got Game 2 coming up later in the day, split doubleheader. We'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit. I had a couple of people tweet at me last time we had that rejoin song. Yes, we have Spice Girls as a rejoiner here on the Padres Radio Network. Who picked that? Was it Frank, our studio coordinator? Was it another host? Who picked that? That's what I want to know. Just kidding. It was me. Frank is coming over here. It was me. Okay. We can confirm. Sources say. All right, Padres win it here tonight, 9-1 against the Atlanta Braves, as the Padres have won the first two games of this series in Atlanta. Certainly set up very well for a number of reasons going into tomorrow. We've discussed a lot of those, and we'll see what the Padres do in the doubleheader tomorrow. Darvish, absolutely terrific in this game. 7 brilliant scoreless innings, allowed just 2 hits, 9 strikeouts on 99 pitches. A lot going on in the major leagues today on this Sunday. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the Bigs and tell you about the scores you need to know in our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Meat, where great taste meets integrity.
Diamondbacks beat the Tigers 6-4 in Arizona earlier today. The Dodgers beat the Reds in 10, 3-2. Shohei Ohtani, a walk-off hit in the bottom half of the 10th inning for LA. Giants beat the Rockies 4-1 in San Francisco. Angels beat the Rangers in Arlington 4-1. Pirates beat the Cubs 3-2 in Chicago. Royals beat the A's 8-4 in Kansas City. Astros beat the Brewers 9-4 in Houston. Kyle Tucker, a couple of home runs in that game for Houston in that win. Mets beat the Marlins 7-3 in Miami. Brandon Nimmo, a home run for the Mets in that one. Yankees beat the White Sox 7-2 in New York. Aaron Judge went deep.
Now Flexen with the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, hit deep to right field, turning and watching near the wall is Jimenez, and it is gone off the top of the wall, right onto the porch. And it's a 2-run homer for Aaron Judge. The magnificent month of May continues for the Yankees captain, and it's a 7-2 Bombers lead.
Guardians beat the Twins 5-2 in Cleveland. By the way, that call, Justin Shackle on Yankees Radio, WFAN in New York. Guardians beat the Twins 5-2 in Cleveland. Will Brennan, a walk-off 3-run home run in that game for the Guardians. Blue Jays beat the Rays 5-2 in Toronto. Daniel Vogelbach, a home run in that one for Toronto. Phillies beat the Nationals 11-5 in Philadelphia. Couple of other scores and highlights from the American League East. The Orioles beat the Mariners with a little help from Gunnar Henderson.
1-2, and here's the pitch. Clobbered to right center field and deep. Rodriguez is back. He's at the wall. It's gone. A leadoff homer for Gunnar Henderson as he continues to pace baseball. That's number 15 for Gunnar. And it's 1-0 Baltimore.
Gunnar Henderson playing like an AL MVP so far. Orioles beat the Mariners 6-3. Finally, Red Sox and the Cardinals in St. Louis. Red Sox beat up the Cardinals with a little help from Rafael Devers.
Pitch. Raffy drives one high into right center field. It is back at the track. It is at the wall. Ciani leaps. He can't get it. Devers is homered in 5 straight games. A towering shot, and it's 9-1 Red Sox.
Red Sox would go on to win it 11-3 in St. Louis. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, the calls from the Orioles broadcast and the Red Sox broadcast. Nice job by those announcers. And here today, Padres win it 9-1 over the Braves on Sunday Night Baseball, really more like Sunday late afternoon baseball here on the West Coast after the rain out yesterday, but well worth the wait for tonight's game as the Padres put together quite the performance to take the first 2 games of this 4-game series. Let's tell you about our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher was able to come in and slam the door shut? It's time for the relief pitcher of the game in support of the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, providing food assistance to local children, families, and seniors in need. To get help or give help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Our relief pitcher of the game here today. We got 2 options for the Padres, although there was one performance for the Braves that was really, really good. Let's take it seriously for a moment on the Padres side. 2 options, right? Adrian Morejon or Stephen Kolek, pretty easy. Morejon, a 1-2-3 inning, struck out 2. Kolek gave up a run in the 9th inning. So the official pick will be Adrian Morejon, 1-2-3 inning. And also, just important to note, and I thought Jesse and Tony did a good job pointing this out during the broadcast, another day, maybe Morejon goes out, gets 2 innings because they only threw 8 pitches in that 1 inning. But remember, doubleheader tomorrow. You don't want to put Morejon in a spot where you can't use him tomorrow. You might want to use him at some point in the doubleheader. So you understood it. Kolek came out and got the final 3 outs of the game. So Morejon, our official relief pitcher of the game. Although I got to tell you, for the Braves, Luke Williams, the position player that came into pitch in the 9th inning, 1-2-3 frame. Got Camposano, Kim, and Arise. 1-2-3. So, just a shout out to Luke Williams for what he did. But official pick, Adrian Morejon. And that's a look at our relief pitcher of the game. Padres win it here tonight, 9-1 in Atlanta. We'll come back. We'll hear our play of the game, wrap things up, get you ready for tomorrow's doubleheader on the Padres Radio Network. Our postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here tonight, Padres 9 and the Braves 1. Padres have won the first two games of this four-game series in Atlanta. We'll have more on tomorrow's doubleheader and the schedule tomorrow here on 97.3 The Fan in just a moment. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we wrap this one up. Great day for the Padres. Darvish, 7 brilliant innings, picks up his fourth win of the season. Career win number 200 between his time in Japan and his time in the major league. So again, a big congratulations to you. He was certainly a big part of the story here tonight, but the Padres offense also a big part of tonight's game. The Padres offense was all over Bryce Elder. Really potent here tonight, both with just putting the ball in play and the home run ball. The first home run the Padres hit here tonight, that is our play of the game.
What was the crucial play that determined who came out on top? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Here's the 1-2. That's it in the air, deep down the right field line. You want an extra base hit? You got it. 2-run, home run, Jake Cronenworth. Padres take a 2-0 lead on Elder and the Braves here in the top of the first inning. And Cronenworth, who had 3 hits on Friday night, homers in his first at-bat here tonight.
Jake Cronenworth, the 2-run home run that got the scoring started. Our play of the game today, Cronenworth hitting his 8th home run of the season. Later on, Luis Campusano would hit his 4th. Ha-Seong Kim would hit his 6th. Padres got 3 runs in the first inning, 4 runs in the 4th inning, 1 in the 5th inning, 1 in the 7th inning. Ended up being plenty here tonight with what Darvish was doing on the mound. 7 scoreless innings and a very easy 9-1 win for the Padres in Atlanta. All right, taking a look ahead to tomorrow. We have a long day of Padres baseball here on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. So before I get to tomorrow, the pitching matchups, what you can expect tomorrow on the field, let me tell you how this is going to go tomorrow on the radio. So our friends, Ben Woods Paul, they'll be here at 6 a.m. They will take you until 8:20 a.m. I will join you for pregame at 8:20. First pitch in Game 1 of tomorrow's doubleheader at 9:20. So Jesse and Tony will talk to you at 9:10. They'll take you through Game 1 of the doubleheader. I will have a quick post-game show after Game 1 of the doubleheader. Then I'll hand it over to Chris Ello, I understand, will be here, and he'll have some amount of time on the air. Not sure, depends on how long Game 1 goes. But he will have the filler show between Games 1 and 2. I understand Matt Scraby might even make an appearance. It's a little bit fluid, I think, the situation, because we do know at 2:20 p.m. I will retake the airwaves for Game 2 of the doubleheader, our full hour-long EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show tomorrow for Game 2 at 2:20, first pitch in Game 2 at 3:20, and then I'll have the postgame for you after Game 2. So we have 2 pregames, 2 postgames, 2 games, and Chris Ello and or Matt Scraby filling some time, really giving me a little break in between the games. I said, hey, I need a little break. I got to reset for Game 2, go get some lunch. Sure you understand. So the folks here at 97.3 The Fan, kind enough to give me a breather. So a lot of Padres talk tomorrow, 2 Padres games, and that'll pretty much be our day here on 97.3 The Fan. Now, on the field tomorrow, Game 1 of the doubleheader, right-hander Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres, right-hander Reynaldo Lopez on the mound for the Braves. Again, first pitch in Game 1 at 9:20. First pitch in Game 2 is at 3:20. Right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres, and left-hander Chris Sale on the mound for the Braves. Again, pregame start time for Game 1 at 8:20. Pregame start time for Game 2 at 2:20 tomorrow. And we'll see what the Padres do after winning the first 2 games of this series. Taking a look at the final totals in this one here today. For the Padres, 9 runs, 14 hits, no errors. They left on 10. For the Braves, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error. They left on 2. Yu Darvish, the winner here tonight. He's now 4-1. The losing pitcher, Bryce Elder, who drops to 1-2. Time of game, 2 hours and 53 minutes. And the crowd at Truist Park in Atlanta, 39,203. As always, if you missed any of our post-game show, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. For our great studio coordinator, Frank Mark Casey, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night. Again, the final score, the San Diego Padres 9 and the Atlanta Braves 1. We'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow morning on the Padres Radio Network.